I know I'm gonna get made fun of for this one. People are gonna laugh at me. People are gonna call me dumb. People are gonna say a lot of things. A lot of things are gonna be said about me right here. But I'm gonna be the one to say it, man. It's football dying, bro. It's football dying. Listen, since Ronaldo and since Messi left Europe, football's never been the same. And if football right now, in my opinion, is in one of its most boring states that it's been in a very long time. I'm gonna be the one to say it. No, a lot of people are not going to want to say it, but I'm going to be the one to say it. Since Suarez, since Jordi Alba, since Messi, since Ronaldo, since a lot of these superstars left Europe, football hasn't been the same. And I'm going to tell you my honest opinion of why I believe that, right? Because when you look at football right now and you look at massive games and entertainment in games, it's not what it once was. It's just not. And I think we can all agree with that. And I know a lot of people are like, yo, that's a nostalgic thing. You living in the past. Football is great. But the truth is, with the amount of games we have, with the amount of injuries to players like Courtois, Eder Militao, with a lot of the players going down hurt, Vinicius Jr. missing time, these are the superstars of our games. And when those guys are missing times, teams and games are not going to be as exciting. And in my opinion, the thing that's happening to Barcelona right now, the financial issue that they're in, is hurting football. And Chelsea struggling, even though they're spending money, is hurting football. Things like this is hurting football. As a Benfica fan, I always want to see Porto and Sporting lose games, right? But I never want to see them in a situation where they're not competing for the league all the time, because that makes football boring. You need your rivals and you need the best teams in football to be the best teams in football at all times. And with Chelsea losing games the way they're losing games and Barca not able to sign players the way they once signed players, it hurts football because it makes the games not as exciting. We need teams that are constantly competing with teams like Man City and stuff like this to make football exciting. The one bright thing in football this season, in my opinion, the 2023-2024 season, is the Premier League. This is probably one of the best Premier Leagues we've seen in years. This Premier League is massively juicy, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I am in a place right now with football where, you know, you look at even, let's say, Real Madrid, because they have had so many players with the lack of football time, Vinicius Jr. being hurt for so long, and then there was Eder Militao, Courtois, to the names. A lot of their games have been boring. Real Madrid fans will say it. They win, but a lot of games you're like, not a fun game to watch. This past weekend, they cooked 4 goals. They played great. Boom, right? But a lot of their games are on the more boring side, right? At least this season, they've been up into, you know, who knows what's going to happen. A lot of football games have been really boring this season. I watched the Portuguese league this week, and I watched all 3 big games, Porto, Sporting, Benfica, boring games. All 3 of them, boring. All 3 of them. I watched a lot of the Premier League, some Premier League games, boring. Then there was some exciting ones. You know, the Arsenal game was a nail-biter till the end. But at the end of the day, if it wasn't for that nice title race that we're having in the Premier League, I think to myself, is this really fun? Now, I'm going to show you some stuff real quick so you can look at this. In the Champions League, first knockout stage, no disrespect to any of these teams. We got a Porto Arsenal, okay? I don't know how many people are tuning into this unless you're a Porto or an Arsenal fan or you're Portuguese or English, okay? Napoli versus Barca, kind of a good game, but probably if you're a neutral, maybe you're turning it on, but Napoli really hasn't been the team they were last year. Dortmund versus PSG, probably German or a Dortmund fan watching this. If you're a neutral, are you really pulling up to this? PSG versus Real Sociedad, are you pulling up to this if you're not a supporter of the team or from the country? Like, is this a game that catches your attention? Lazio Bayern, is that catching your attention? Are you pulling up to this one? Is that catching your attention? Inter versus AC Milan, these are big, heavy names, so maybe you pull up to watch this one. Real Madrid versus RB could catch your attention, but probably unless you're Spanish or Real Madrid fan or German or RB fan, you're probably not pulling up to this one. City versus Copenhagen, same thing. Unless you just love football, there's a lot of games you're not pulling up to. And I know rivals are rivals and you always want to see your rival team struggle, but they're struggling and then there's just like a team that's not competing. And you never want your rivals to not be competing because then it's not fun and the competition doesn't go further. You want the competition to always get better and better and better and better. And I know Real Madrid fans are having a blast watching Barcelona with their financial issue, but you never want Barcelona to get to a point where their team is no fun to watch and then El Clásicos become boring, which I don't think that will ever happen to Barca. But I'm just saying, we don't want that for football. We don't want that, lads. And that's why the Premier League, in my opinion, is the one bright thing of this season. Because when you look at this right now, you got Arsenal 64, Liverpool 64, Man City 63, Aston Villa putting together a great season. But then you got Manchester United just not even close to the top, and Chelsea just not even, like, what are we doing? And even Everton, like, this is a team with so much history all the way down there. This is not good for football, lads. This is not good for football. And although this is one of the better Premier Leagues we've seen in a long time, I really hope Chelsea and Manchester United can get their stuff together to really start going forward. Now, although this season's been pretty boring outside of the Premier League, we got a really good, hopefully, April and end of March coming. Because when you, just in the Premier League, when you look at the Premier League, this upcoming weekend, we got an Arsenal-Chelsea. And although Chelsea's struggling, listen, Chelsea's a great team. Chelsea, no matter what, is Chelsea, right? They might be in a bad place right now, not winning games, not looking good. But it's always Chelsea. They're always a big team. And there's players that are trying to show themselves and get out of the situation they're in. So that's going to be a tough game for Arsenal, but I do think Arsenal will probably see it out, okay? This Liverpool-Everton game, this should be a heavy hitter, man. This is what I'm saying. Like, on a normal stuff, bro, on normal seasons, Chelsea-Arsenal, massive game. Everton-Liverpool, big game, right? But that's not the case right now, and that's what's ruining football for us right now. We need Chelsea, Everton, we need these teams back, bro, to full strength, man, because that's when you see great games all the time. Anyways, that's those games got postponed, but I don't know when they're putting it. But anyways, then we move forward, okay, a week, and March 31st. I think this might be after, I don't know if we get a international break, but we get Man City versus Arsenal. This is a big one. And this is what I'm saying. Going into April, lads, even the Liverpool-Brighton game, that should be a good one. Going into April, end of March, April, this is football's back. Because in my opinion, we're going to get the next round of the Champions League where a lot of the heavy hitter teams are going to have to face each other. I think Bayern's through now, Madrid. Teams are going to have to face each other. So as a neutral, I'm talking neutral, okay? Because I'm only a Benfica supporter. I love watching Madrid. It's a team I grew up watching, then Manchester United and stuff. But I'm a Benfica fan, bro. Preseason, I'm there. I'm there every game, bro. I can't say that for Madrid. I don't watch every Madrid game. I watch every Benfica game, okay? But outside of Benfica, I want, as a neutral, big games. I want to see a ton of El Clásicos. I want to see a Bayern Madrid all the time. I want to see big games as a neutral. I want to see the best players in the world play against the best players in the world. That's what I want to see as a neutral. And personally, I feel like hopefully going into the next round of the Champions League, we'll see a lot of this. That's what I'm hoping for. So I'm hoping the best teams make it through this round so we can see the best games. That's what I'm hoping for. Because up until this point, the Champions League has been an L, right? I'm going to keep it fully honest with you, bro. I watched bits and pieces of the Madrid versus RB game, the second leg. I turned the Man City Copenhagen game off. The PSG game, I walked away. And I did not watch the Bayern game. And I am a football fanatic. I always have football on my TV. Always. I am constantly watching football games, even if they're repeated. These games just didn't interest me at all. Zero. There was no interest at all. I might have watched the whole Madrid game. I don't even remember. But there was no interest in any of these games, lads. Like, it just was boring to me. And I know people will be like, well, you're not a real football fan then, lad. You're not a real football fan. You're not a real football fan. I'm just telling you, lads, that it's nice to see good games, right? Sometimes. All of us predicted these games. All of us predicted Bayern over Lazio, even though it was an upset in the first game. All of us predicted Man City over Copenhagen. All of us predicted Real Madrid. All of us predicted PSG. When you predicting stuff and you're getting everything right, it's either you're really good at watching sports and you know your ball, or the games are really lopsided. And right now, the games are very lopsided, except for one or two. The games are, because football's in a place, lads, where the big teams are like big, and then it's, and listen, in my opinion, I just think football's in a bad place right now. And listen, maybe it's a nostalgic merchant feeling here, but you know, I just remember back in the day, man, watching Champions League, there was constantly big games, bro. When you got to the round of 16, bro, like most games, you saw big games in the round of 16. and you saw upsets in the round of 16. And this year, it just doesn't really feel. Maybe Porto can pull it off against Arsenal. I don't think so. I could be wrong. By the time this video, y'all will find out real soon what's actually going to happen in that game. You know what I'm saying? Because that game's happening very, very soon. But I don't know, lads. The games that are left in the Champions League, lads, is FC Porto versus Arsenal, Bayern versus Napoli. That should be a good game. I'm definitely going to watch that. And I'm definitely going to watch Atletico Madrid versus Inter. But there's some good games left, right? There is some good games. Inter versus Atleti's a big game. Napoli versus Barca. It was supposed to be a big game. Just Napoli isn't the team they were last year, but it's still a huge game. I'm just saying to y'all, lads, we need Chelsea back. We need City back. We need Barca to fix their financial issues so they can go get more superstars in there with Yamal and stuff, because this stuff is good for football, lads. This is good for neutrals. It's good for neutrals, lads. It is good for neutrals. And I know teams like myself, that people that support like teams like Benfica and stuff, we should want the big teams, those big money spenders, to fall so we can compete. But at the end of the day, that gap of money is still going to be there. So it's going to be hard for us to compete either way. So if we love football, we should just want to be able to see big matches more often, in my opinion. And since I know my Benfica is not going to be able to constantly compete with Real Madrid and Barcelona and all these teams, then I want to see massive games like that against each other, because that's what you want to see in football, man. You want to see superstars versus superstars. Again, going back to the Premier League, I think it's amazing what they're doing. I think the Premier League's in a really good place right now. I don't know how this season's going to end. It's one of the closest Premier Leagues in a long time. But I don't know, man. You guys let me know, lads. Is football in a bad place, or am I overthinking it? I honestly don't know, but I just think that this season has been one of the most boring seasons in football. We need Mbappe to Madrid or Barca, wherever he's going. Make it happen, dude. Because we need superstars at teams that it's good. I don't know. Gonna make it. I don't know. I maybe that's my fault for not watching more PSG. Maybe I need to be watching more PSG. Maybe I got to watch every single Liga game. You know, I don't know what it is, lads, but I just feel right now, outside of the Premier League and outside of what Bayer Leverkusen's doing in Germany, I feel like football's kind of boring. Please get in the comments down below and let me know what you think. Is it just me? Am I a Ronaldo, Messi merchant right now? Am I living in the past? Time to grow up, lad? Let me know, man. Please let me know. But I just wanted to kind of get that off my chest. Let me know what you guys think about what I just said there. But I definitely think that this season's been pretty boring, outside of the Premier League and outside of what Bayer Leverkusen's doing. Anyways, I love you guys. I appreciate y'all, man. Would love to get y'all's opinion in the comments down below. But yeah, man, we need Manchester United back. We need Chelsea back. We need Barca to be able to spend, because it just brings better football matches. That's my opinion.